Previously.
I'll see you next time, buddy. Let's keep the momentum going, huh? Hey there, CFL Jim. Looks like you could use a little pick-me-up. Well, now that you mention it, I do feel weaker. My mind's all blurry. I don't know what's going on, man. Yeah, you're not looking good there, Jim. I think it's time that we call a meeting at the gyms. Okay. I think it's time. Alright then. Rogermus, teleportationist. What the hell just happened? Hello, CFL Jim. Sorry for calling you here on such a weird notice. I know it's not usual protocol, but I thought with this weird disturbance going on, it was best that we had a meeting of the gyms. Sorry all the gyms couldn't make it. Get me out of hibernation like this. Better be an emergency. It's the fucking tick goblin, I swear to God, and when I find that son of a bitch, he is dead. He is so dead. Even if I'm busy rampaging, I will be here for you, CFL Jim. That's what I'm about. God, my rage. It's building. I can feel it firing me up. You look like you could use some soup. Now, for the issue at hand. CFL Jim, you are really messed up. I don't know how else to say it. Oh, God, no. Is this a Jim invention? You're not feeling well, CFL Jim. I'm telling you guys, I'm already... You have us all worried here, CFL Jim. There has to be something going on in the CFL section of the Gymiverse that we are not privy to. Goddamn, Jim. How do we let it come to this? I just don't understand. I'm telling you guys, I'm perfectly fine. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta do my reach. Oh. Now that you mention it, a few weeks ago, I was doing my recap, and then I hear this weird noise. So I go to inspect it. The next thing I know, I'm waking up on the side of the road. Nothing's felt the same ever since. Mind's been foggy. I felt weak. I don't know what to do, guys. I really don't know what to do. To do this to a gym, I swear. Weird sound. Memory loss. We might be dealing with a demonic entity who has taken your teams as a source of power. You think that's it? You think it's the teams? Whoever did this is gonna feel my hands around their fucking throats. That would make sense. I'm one of the oldest gyms around. the power that I have, plenty of people out there covet it. It would make sense. Being as old as you are, your team's garnered more power than many. We need to get these teams back, man. I got to figure out a way. I don't know. You guys help? Who work together as gyms? I think a couple of us gyms should dig deep into what's causing this and who might be behind it. We might need to use all of our sources and powers together in order to get your teams back in the Gymiverse back in its rightful setting. I have a few resources I can count on to figure out where this demonic presence might be coming from. Well, you guys know me. I got all the time in the world right now. It's the middle of my off season. I have about 160, 170 days until my season begins. So I will dedicate all of my time to helping you, CFL Jim. I'm gonna. I got a couple buddies I might be able to call in some favors for. Let me see what I can do. Don't worry, CFL Jim. Investigator Jim is on the case. To me, a kitchen is like a garage, so I'll see what I can find in the diners, drive-ins, and dives around the Gymiverse to figure out who would be doing this to one of our most prestigious members. It's decided, then. A couple of us gyms will do some research into what's going on, figure out a solution and a plan of attack. We'll get back together, and then we'll get the CFL teams back to their rightful gym. Let's focus on a way finding these teams and then getting whoever the hell did this to me. Meeting adjourned. Don't worry. Once Garfield Jim is on the case, it's as good as solved. I'll get to the bottom of this. Garfield Jim, over and out. All right. First things first. I have to do my Week 18 recap of the CFL, buddy. Let's get into it. Game number one, we had the Hamilton Tigercats taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, with the Bombers winning this one 31-10. Now, that score may surprise some of you. A lot of us were calling this the game of the week. It didn't turn out to be that way. I still think it was very exciting. I think this score does not indicate just how close both these teams were to each other. I think if it weren't for the big plays that Winnipeg made, that Hamilton just couldn't, this game would have been a lot closer. Hamilton missed picks, dropped passes, missed field goals, just mistake after mistake, and not capitalizing on the moments. The Bombers, they capitalized on the moments. Colaros came back down to earth a little bit, still looked pretty darn impressive, but I still think this game was about the moments. It had everything you want out of a big game, except Hamilton could not capitalize on Winnipeg mistakes and couldn't make big plays happen. Now, this cements Winnipeg basically at the top of the West. Hamilton fighting for their lives at the moment. Still not out of it yet, but they're scrapping. They're scrapping hard. So going forward for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, coast right now. You're feeling really good. BC's right behind you, but you're still in a very, very good position. For the Tigercats, though, you have to fight for every scrap of food you can. You're right there. You're right behind Toronto. You guys have a shot. You need to do a lot, though, to make things roll your way. I'm rooting for the Tigercats here because they've been very exciting to the end of this regular season, but they need a lot to go their way right now. Game number two, we had the Calgary Stampeders taking on the BC Lions, with the Lions winning this one 32-15. This is another game. Very exciting, very close. The score doesn't indicate just how close this match was. BC kind of blew it out in the fourth. And BC better be paying their kicker well, because without him, they don't even stay in this game. Another 0-touchdown performance from Nathan Rourke. And the big thing here, brutal picks for Calgary and just terrible turnovers kind of just killed them late in this game. I don't know, man. They pulled Mayer, they put Schlitz in, and he looks pretty good for the most part, but it was too little, too late. The doors had already been blown off at that point. BC, I still don't believe they're in like a fantastic position momentum wise coming into the postseason, but they might have locked themselves up for a nice little home game. So they got that going for them. Stampeders. They're one of those question mark teams. I don't know what they're going to be doing with quarterback in the offseason. They've got Jake Mayer, they've got Matthew Schultz, and I don't know if you really want either of them as your starter. I like both those guys. I've watched them for a few years now. They've been fun. They've been really good at points, but their lows have been extremely, extremely low. I don't know. And BC, man, talk about quarterback situation. What are they going to do next year? They need to focus on now, but still, with that glimmer into the future, there's a lot to worry about. Looking towards the future, right now, the immediate future for both these teams, for BC, still clean some stuff up, still figure out what you got to do. Get Nathan Rourke feeling himself again because he just hasn't looked himself since joining back in with the CFL this season. For the Calgary Stampeders, your season's over. It's been over, honestly. You're kind of just assessing what you have, and you need to keep doing that. Keep embracing your chaotic vibes and just have fun with it. You know, Calgary, you just got to have some fun. Game number 3, we had the Saskatchewan Roughriders taking on the Edmonton Elks, with the Roughriders winning 28-24. And whoa, boy, this was the game of the weekend. Both teams back up against the wall, needing the win. Saskatchewan gets it, and it felt like to me that fate was on the Roughriders' side because nothing was going Edmonton's way when they needed it. Doinking your extra points, crazy pick to like seal the game for Saskatchewan, and then the fumble at the end for Edmonton to like really just seal the game away. Nothing seemed to go the Elks' way. And Saskatchewan continues their trend of having a strong early season, a terrible slump in the middle, and then getting back into form a bit for the playoffs. I'm wondering if they're going to continue on to disappoint in the postseason. Trevor Harris, for the most part, looked pretty good. The run game for Saskatchewan, still strong, leaves a little bit to be desired, but still strong. Edmonton, you looked good, and you've looked good for a good chunk of the season, but now you're done. McLeod Bethel Thompson, will he stay? I don't know. At this point, maybe you want to put Trey Ford in, see what you have for the future. How many times have we said that for the Edmonton Elks? Don't know if they're going to do it, but I don't know what this team's looking forward, by the way, for the Rough Riders. Keep this momentum going. They have like a weird team of destiny vibe right now. And I wonder if they can harness that and use that. I think not having a bye week actually might do good for the Rough Riders. If they can kind of continue this run and just have this momentum of team of destiny vibes going into the postseason, maybe catapult themselves to a Grey Cup. I don't know. I'll see it when I believe it, but maybe. For the Edmonton Elks, your season's done. Just kind of figure out what you guys are going to do. Look forward to 2025 and see how you can be a different Elks team than what you've been for the last 5 years. This team has been in the gutter. It's been chaotic, not in a good way, and they need to kind of figure out an identity, a team identity. That's what the Edmonton Elks need to do going forward. That'll lead me into my CFL Jim audience question of the week. My question is to you now. With almost every playoff spot locked in, we don't know who's getting first and whatnot, but I'm not asking about that. With every playoff spot almost locked in, who is your last team to make it? Will it be the Toronto Argonauts, who have a little bit of a lead, have some good momentum going right now, or will it be the Hamilton Tigercats, who up until this week were a red-hot team with a lot going on, a strong defense, and a fun offense? That's my question to you. I personally would love to see Hamilton make it in. They're a fun team to root for. They're a fun story, and I can see them doing it. They have the head-to-head matchup against Toronto, and if they can keep it going, they need some stuff to go their way, but I'm rooting for the Ticats. Who do you guys think is going to make it? And finally, that'll bring me to my CFL Jim power rankings for Week 18 of the CFL. From me, CFL Jim, to you lovely CFL watchers, these are now kind of getting more locked in place. So you'll expect some movement, but I don't expect a lot in the latter half now that teams are locked into the postseason versus not, because I put a lot of credence into that. At number 9, It's still the Calgary Stampeders. Still chaotic, but still mostly bad. This team just disappointing. They're usually right around the middle of the pack, and this year they slid off a cliff and just couldn't recover in time. They are very disappointing to me. At number 8, back where they kind of belong, where they started out and where they were for a good chunk of the season, it's the Edmonton Elks. Back here, disappointing loss. You needed this one when your backs are against the wall and just fate decided it wasn't for you. You belong here at the 8th spot. At number 7, it's the Toronto Argonauts. Didn't play this week, didn't have a chance to prove themselves. The run game is still very strong, and honestly, for all these teams, they're going to be very, very close. But I have Toronto right here just because I don't believe Chad Kelly has had more good games than bad games recently. So I have Toronto right here. At number 6, Hamilton Tigercats. Fiery momentum. Defense is good. The offense, for the most part, really, really strong. And I think they have the momentum and the juice to carry them into a postseason berth. At number 5, it's the Ottawa Red Blacks. You're not really thinking about them right now. They've been sliding a little bit too, so watch out for them. But I have them right here, still solid, but they got to show me something if I'm going to have any faith in them this coming postseason. At number 4, it's the BC Lions. Nathan Rourke still not living up to his potential, not to what he's been billed at. And BC, I don't know, man. I don't know with this Lions team. At number 3, it's the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The momentum's picking back up. They have the team of destiny vibes. This team has something going for them, and I believe they can use that to go in and have a strong postseason, hopefully. At number 2, it's the Montreal Alouettes. Not thinking about them too much now, are you? They've kind of had this locked up for a few weeks now. They've been coasting, and I wonder if they can bounce back and maybe compete and get that number 1 spot. I wonder if they're going to show back up to like this early season Alouettes team that we all saw, loved, and were excited about. Number 1, this team has all the momentum in the world. They're coming back, folks. It's the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We thought by week 4, maybe this would be the season that Winnipeg wouldn't make it. They wouldn't look so good. They weren't looking good. And now all of a sudden, they're looking like the best team in the CFL. I hate it. I know plenty of you people out there hate it, but that's the reality of the situation. Winnipeg Blue Bombers are my number 1 team yet again. Oh boy. And that'll do it for our Week 18 CFL recap, folks. Have a good one out there. I'm going to try and do what I can to recover and find my missing teams, and with the help of the other gyms, hopefully we make it happen. Until then, I'm CFL Jim. See you guys again for the Week 19 recap. Later, buddy.